You may have memorized endless lists of vocabulary. You may know all the grammar needed to hold any conversation, and still find yourself at a loss when wanting to speak correct English. I am pretty sure you are facing this situation. Why am I not able to speak correct English? Or why is your English not improving? There are various reasons behind this. Some of them, more or less the same, that all of you face. In this video, I would like to give you a few tips to help overcome the problems you might be experiencing in learning English. I would tell you some of the simplest methods to improve your English communication skills. The first thing you need to do is slow down your speaking speed. Yes, you heard it correct. Slow down your speaking speed. You might be great at communication when it comes to your mother tongue, but expecting the same level of communication from yourself when speaking in English may not be very realistic. Especially if you're at the early stages of learning English. Students are often told not to worry about the mistakes they're making. However, it is easy to understand why you would like to make a good impression on your listeners. To overcome this difficulty, you may try slowing down your English speaking speed. Nobody will hold it against you if you speak more slowly and clearly. Great speakers do the same to get their message across. Selecting your words carefully may also be seen as a sign of respect towards your audience. It shows that you want to give them the best possible answer. So remember, slow down your speaking speed. The second tip I have for you is, give yourself time to think. You may be worried that the people you are talking to are impatient and would like you to say what you want to as quickly as possible. First of all, it may not be true. People often prefer a well-thought-out answer to a rushed one. So just relax. Another practical thing you can do is equipping yourself with fixed phrases. You can use these fixed phrases instead of remaining silent. Doesn't that seem to be a good option? Let me explain that to you with an example. If someone asks you,
"Why is there so much violence shown on the TV?"
you could reply saying, "That's a good question. Let me think for a moment. I haven't really thought about it before. Well, I suppose," and then you could give your answer. By doing so, you get considerable amount of time to reflect just by repeating the question and adding a few sentences. If you do the same, you'll sound more fluent and won't feel the pressure of having to say something before you're ready. Fixed or set phrases are phrases whose words are usually fixed in a certain order. They can be verb patterns, idioms, collocations, basically anything we always say in one particular way. Let's look at some examples of fixed sentences you could use in your conversation. Well, during the day. In the meantime, why don't we? It's been a long time since. Sorry to trouble you, but would you mind if? Oh, come on. I'm just kidding. The next tip I have for you is, learn complete sentences. Not only words or vocabulary. In a way, this will take the pressure off you too. When you learn a new word, try to memorize a couple of sentences that contain that word in it. There might come a time when you can use one particular sentence with little or no alteration at all. Unfortunately, many people learn words by heart, but have no idea how to use them in a sentence when it comes to real conversation. You could also visit our YouTube channel, Daily Video Vocabulary. On this channel, you would learn a new word, idiom or a phrase daily. You would have more than 10 sentences to practice the vocabulary you have learned. The link is mentioned in the description of this video. You can check that out after watching this video. Coming back to this lesson, when you learn complete sentences, it will be such a relief, not having to worry about whether the sentence is correct grammatically or not. Let's look at an example. To appreciate. To appreciate means to recognize the value of something or somebody. If you have to use it in a sentence, you could say, I think it's necessary to feel appreciated in a relationship. I appreciate all your hard work. Isn't it much more useful to memorize appreciate in this manner, by learning complete sentences? I hope that's pretty clear to you. Let's move on to the next tip. The fourth tip I have for you is, learn to listen. When speaking English, you might be so focused on what you are saying, and whether it's correct or not, that you forget to listen to what others are saying. This is a big mistake, as they might be using the exact words or grammar that you'll be needing later on. So pay attention to what's being said around you. It's your most important resource at the time of speaking to someone. The fifth tip I have for you is, practice asking questions. We also need to keep in mind the fact that communication is a two-way process. You don't just project yourself as uninterested in the conversation, but you also come out as an rude person. If you don't ask questions, you might also end up being the one who has to do all the talking. So, when you've run out of ideas about what to say next, remember, others might have something to add. Some of the English phrases you could use to keep the conversation going are, what are your views on that? How about you? What do you think? Why do you think there's so much violence on TV? Questions like these will keep the conversation going, and will show your interest in other people's opinion. That will also give you time to relax a little, and start enjoying yourself. Asking questions can be quite tricky, so make sure you spend enough time learning the correct ways of asking questions. Well, the last tip for today is, produce, produce and produce. As I said at the beginning of this English lesson, you might know a lot about the English language, but this is passive knowledge that must be activated somehow. Your aim is to be able to speak correct English. Practice is undeniably the best way to learn and improve your English. Writing is one way of activating and practicing the English language. It may help you get used to and reflect on the ways English operates, which, in turn, might prove to be useful when speaking English. Spoken English, on the other hand, is a much more spontaneous process, and nothing prepares you for it better than actually doing it. So, find people you can practice with, either on Skype, or on language exchange sites, or here on our channel. In the comment section, you could answer some of the comments, ask some questions as well. Don't you think it would be a great learning curve? So use all the tips that I have shared with you to improve your English communication